Hey everyone, happy Tuesday and welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So today the two oldest cars in the shop, so namely the 52 sunroof split window and the 54 Barndoor, both got lots of love. So Rafa worked on the Barndoor, so why don't we start with that and see what happened. So first off, the fixed windows went in, so you've got four fixed windows on the side of these, so one, two on the cargo doors, and then the two opposite there. We had those out because we were doing a bunch of paint correction and painting the inside of this bus and stuff like that. So pretty much all the windows came out. And now that stuff's done, you can see the reflection on this bus. It's looking pretty amazing. So yeah, now windows and stuff are starting to go back in and the bus is starting to go back together. So that's pretty exciting. Another thing we did today was put in these two panels that we made for the back here. So you can see one right here, which will be mostly hidden behind the back seat, and then one here on the top of the luggage area. So I think I mentioned before, the reason we put those in is that this bus previously didn't have any seats in the back at all. We're going to put a middle and a rear seat in it. The owner wants to be able to put friends and family and stuff in here, drive around in Hawaii, and really enjoy this bus. So we were looking for ways to kind of dampen the noise in the back of this versus if it's just a big hollow tin can. So combis, which were kind of like the least expensive of all the Volkswagen buses, they didn't have any real interior at all in the back here. So all this bare metal that you see here, basically the skin of the bus, that's pretty much all exposed like that. And that's true even on the engine compartment. So the firewall here, and then kind of the top of the engine compartment, this luggage area here. So we were kind of looking for opportunities to maybe dampen some of the noise in this bus when they're driving it. And so this is where these panels come in. So what we did was we covered the firewall here, and then the luggage area there, again, which are both kind of divide the engine compartment from the inside of the car, cover those with Dynamat, which is, of course, ugly. And then we made these panels to kind of cover that up so that you wouldn't, you're not looking at Dynamat. So, yeah, we made these panels. We had one of Octavio's guys paint it, who's really good at that kind of stuff. And there you go. Rafa bolted those in or screwed those in today with, fairly proper looking fasteners. And yeah, so they came out good. I think most people probably wouldn't even notice that those are in there, especially once the back seat and stuff is in. But we expect it's going to make a pretty big difference as far as the engine noise and stuff inside the bus, because I think the plan is to leave it bare like this, but at least the back of it will be relatively quiet from engine noises, road noises, and so on. So that happened today. So that's kind of a big deal. Cool step in putting this thing back together, and kind of a custom touch that we're doing here to make it more comfortable to drive in without sounding like you're driving around in a giant tin can, even though you kind of are. So the other big thing that happened today, other than those panels and the windows, is, if you saw the thumbnail, you know what I'm talking about, is the wiring. So Rafa went ahead and pulled the main harness today. Can't really see it from here, but yeah, there you can kind of see it going there. Anyway, yeah, so went ahead and pulled the main harness and wired the back of the bus up. So you can see where this comes up and over, and then from there it kind of splits and it goes to the taillights there and there, of course. And then this one here is what will, of course, do the third brake light and the license plate light. So we had this harness custom made and we had some wires added, and that's why Rafa was able to kind of retrofit some dual filament holders to these bulb holders, and that way it's going to have turn signals in the back. So just kind of like a little added safety back here. So we're going to wire in a turn signal switch, but still leave totally intact and functional semaphores, because few things are cooler than semaphores. So he'll have semaphores, but he'll also have a like an accessory turn signal switch that will operate the turn signals on the back. And then I think in the front we're going to do the city lights inside the headlights. We'll wire those up as turn signals. So cool, and some added safety and some added I think cool factor, but still retaining the semaphores, which again are the coolest of all turn indicators. There they are. Boom. So on the front of the bus, he also did some wiring. So he's got the wires sort of pulled into the front headlight buckets. And then inside the front, you can see started some wiring up here just a little bit, kind of pulled the main harness up into here, started connecting a little bit. And then, like I said, ran the headlight harnesses and stuff like that. So yeah, coming right along. The good thing about these early buses is they are really simple wiring wise compared to like later ones that have all these relays and all this kind of complicated nonsense. These are as bare bones as you can get. There's no relays. The switches themselves pretty much transmit all the current, and they work good. So very simple and kind of fun to wire because they're so simple and they look beautiful. It's very simple, very elegant wiring in these. So that's what happened on this beauty today. So let's see what happened on the oldest car in the shop at the moment, the 52 split window, which is a bit polarizing that we took this huge motor out and bitchin' built transmission and we're putting it back to stock. Some people are not happy about it, but this is the owner's car and that's what he asked us to do. So we're going to do a really nice job. So there you go. So worked primarily on the front today, and the wiring on this car was just a mess. I think I might have mentioned this yesterday. There were just like extra wires that had been installed and at some point like chopped off, and it took a long time to go through and figure out what the actual hell was what, and then get rid of the ones that were not needed, and then try and like reroute and organize a bit better the ones that are needed. So kind of like the Barndoor bus, the wiring is very, very simple on these. Again, no relays, no nothing. Pretty much power goes to switch, and then from the switch it goes to the whatever, right? The wiper motor, the headlights, you name it. So yeah, this is the cleaned up version here. I'll still organize things a little bit better and then wrap all the wires in the like cloth wrap that they're supposed to be wrapped in. However, I don't want to do that until I actually get a battery in this thing and start testing stuff out, just in case, in case there's like a switch that's not really working or, something like that. So once it's all kind of organized and wrapped and stuff at the end, this will look really nice. Right now it's a little messier looking than I like, but at this stage, I think it's fine. And yeah, so pretty much done with the wiring for now until it comes time to actually like start testing the wiring, and then again we'll like organize it and clean it up a little bit more at that point. So that's what happened up here on this end of the car. Took a good portion of the day fighting with that as far as like all these wires. So somebody had turn signals wired into here at some point. So there's actually wires here that run all the way to the back of the car for left and right turn signal. I couldn't actually remove those completely, so I cut them way back. They were already cut back. I cut them back even further. But the wiring harness on these runs up and over the roof. So those wires are running up and over the roof. So they're just going to stay there. But I chopped them way back and kind of got them out of the way and stuff like that. And then the same with other wires that run across or through the main harness. Can't really totally get rid of them, but you cut them back as far as you can. And then again, once everything's wrapped, you'll never even know they're there. So that was the front of the car. And then the rest of the time, pretty much I spent around the back of the car. And a couple things. Obvious one is I pulled off his taillight housings to expose his taillights. And somebody at some point in time put in dual filament holders here, which actually have a brake light and a running light on them. So those are there. So normally these cars only had a brake light on the Pope's nose, which is basically the license plate housing. But somebody at some point did a pretty nice job here of putting on dual filament holders. So that's kind of cool. And these had LED light bulbs in them. I guess, they're brighter or whatever, but we'll be going back to incandescent and, of course, 6 volts. And then kind of started getting this engine compartment ready to accept the beautiful stock motor that's going to go in here. So one of the time-consuming things was removing this beast, which is the mid-mount. So this thing was mounted on the frame horns about halfway up there, and that was mounting the front, about the middle of the transmission bolts to this thing. And that was essentially his front or forwardmost motor mount. And this, of course, was welded to the frame horns pretty well. And so I had to lay under the car with a die grinder and a cutting disc and slowly and carefully cut this thing off and then grind down the remaining welds on the frame horns. And then I don't know how much you'll even be able to see here. You can't really tell it was done, which was my goal. But yeah, that was welded on underneath there, so you can't really tell now. So again, mission accomplished there. So I did that and kind of cleaned up the wiring some more back here. Got a little bit more organized. Again, there was a bunch of spare wires back here that weren't used, but I wanted to verify that they were things that were not used before I just went and, chopped things. So everything that's here now is stuff that's actually used. So, organized it a little bit more, and then this will get wrapped when we're finally done and I've kind of tested everything out. And then I don't remember if I did that today. I think I did that today as I removed the engine to body seals because we'll put new ones in. Somebody had actually installed the front one upside down, which I thought was kind of interesting. I hadn't seen that before, but pulled both engine to body seals because they were ugly and the front one was installed upside down, which I found kind of amusing. And what else? I mentioned before that this had the little tabs on it for the kind of cardboard or, tarboard sound mats that go in the engine compartment. So split windows didn't have those, so I removed those tabs. And then there was just a bunch of paint chipped up on various areas around where the seal goes and stuff like that. So touched up that paint on both sides, touched up the paint where I removed those little tabs. You can kind of still see where that tab was, but I think only because I'm shining a really bright light on it. I may hit that with paint one more time, but it's really showing more on the camera than it does in person, but I may sand it a little bit more and hit that again one more time with paint. But anyway, and then it had some holes in it. I put little plugs on those. I think those will be covered up pretty good like that. And that was kind of the back of the car here, just getting the engine compartment looking good enough to accept the engine and transmission. And what else? Yeah, touching up paint, stuff like that. So that was my day. We didn't get around to any other cars, so that's it for today, guys. So thank you all for watching, and we will see you again tomorrow. Bye.